Welcome to part two. We're going to be joined by Terry shortly. I think I need to change that photograph there now. I look a div, don't I? With that hat on, absolute div. Uh, the Leewood situation, yeah, it's very interesting, that, isn't it, really? You know how it's all gone quiet uh, on the Western Front for all that time. You know, he's 17 months out the ring in May. I mean, that's a long time, isn't it, for somebody that age who's had a world title, and I don't know. I sometimes wonder what's going on, but we're never going to get to the bottom of it with these confidentiality agreements or whatever. Are we? We can only ask the prodding questions. It's a bit like some of these YouTubers; they're not going to ask them questions, are they? But they must surely speak about it when they're down pub with their mates. But yeah, when they get access, they don't ask the questions. Whereas me, I'd ask me, but. Leewood's welcome on here anytime. He wouldn't dare come on here though, because I'd put it on him, wouldn't I? He'd be asking why somebody on a good run like that's inactive. That's how I look at it. But it is what it is. Where Terry is, should we give him a notch? How is it? Here's Terry, London's finest. Have you heard that from Rico?
I messaged me this morning. I haven't read it yet. I had to jump on Porky's corner immediately. Give the fans what they needed.
Oh, Terry. Got the old Rich Kaspari on patrol, kid.
Yeah, go on.
Skim milk. Should have put full fat milk in. I've got bought wrong milk. Uh, we spoke there about Leewood. What's happening with Josh Warrington now? Do you think he's done?
Well, saying he's coming back, and I'm like, coming back for what exactly? Like what is there for him?
Max
I
says
imagine
he's
a couple
done.
of American paydays. I think Hearn probably just needs him in America to help build some of his stars over there.
Max is on about making a comeback, so I'm gonna have to text him in a bit. Max, in fact, I won't text you. Max, what are you coming back from?
Max has never been away.
I know. He's always in mix, Max, aren't you, Max?
Well, at British level, I'd say Max is definitely in the mix.
Max against Moses Atome. Two wheels collide.
Nah. I think Moses needs to build up to that.
Oh, Max, bless him. Uh, Anthony Joshua, right? How long's he been out at ring now, Terry Joshua? Let's have a look.
As long as Dubois.
Yeah, 7 months then, and he's got no lined up. Uh, do you feel that they're in a tight spot here, Matchroom, with Joshua, because his next fight's going to be very, very, very important, isn't it? Do you think?
No, I don't think. I don't think. I think his meaningful top level career is done now. Like talking about AJ being undisputed, all that talk's over now, right? Anthony Joshua is literally just about what fights do I want to do. That's all that matters to him now. What fights do I want to do?
Do you feel that it's just a case of them getting as much money out of him as they can?
But yeah, I think we're at that point now, aren't we? Where it's like, what fights will fill a stadium for Anthony Joshua? I don't think you're going to get him fighting up and coming contenders, because quite frankly, I don't want to see that. There'll be fans that are like, yeah, I want to see him fight Moses at time. And no, I don't. I don't. I think I'd like to see Joshua just finish off by saying I fought everyone in my generation, right? So if he fights Wilder, if he fights Fury, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah. If Joshua loses, say, two or three more times, do you think they'll still be wheeling him out as pay-per-view?
I think he'd retire. He's a smart guy. He's smart enough to know that, there's only so many humiliations you can take. So I think if he hasn't got it in the next fight, he won't fight again.
No?
Nah.
Could you see him just fighting for no belts and putting him on and just headlining O2 and that?
Why would he need belts? I think I can see them doing a stadium fight next. I can just see that because there's still value in Joshua. That's the crazy thing. Like it's only like in the boxing bubble that people think he's done. Like to the outside world, they're like, well, he's lost a couple, but he's still got that power, so he can do what he wants.
Here we are. Well, Russell, just watched the Cobra with Conor Benn judging him solely as a YouTube liquor and company man. Totally embarrassed himself on his channel. I thought he was impersonating Cook and Cassius. So it looks like the Frotch Ben thing's out. That'll be interesting, won't it?
Well, people want your take on it, so you're gonna have to watch it, and then we need
Yeah.
your take. We need your detailed analysis. Having known Carl like you have,
Yeah.
we're hoping that you're fair, you're balanced, you know, that
I'm gonna have to be on. I've had to be with Yui and Peter, Anna, this week, and it's probably not gone down too well. But sometimes you just got to call it, haven't we? And I'll have to tell it straight, won't I? And that's what we do on here, don't we? We bigged him up
yeah.
for his CV, haven't we? But if he wants to call people out and blah 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 himself, and then get the opportunity and not do it, we saw it with the Turkey Al Sheikh interview. He never mentioned the national anthem to him, did he? Let's see if he puts it on Crusher Ben. I'm going to have to watch that at some point this weekend. I
Yeah.
just hope that he puts it on him. That's all. It's not hard, is it? To say, look, Conor, how did it get in your system? Come on, what? That's all you got to
I
say.
can I can be pretty sure that none of that was asked, and if it was edited out.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
I think at this point, mate, you're just gonna have to accept that Carl's become one of the sheep.
I hope not. But we'll judge him on this interview.
Nah, you can't keep hero worshipping him, Russ. You got to. It's right in front of your eyes, mate. It's right in front of your eyes, right?
I
You
know.
know the thing is, you're trying to convince yourself that what you're seeing is not what you're seeing, but you know exactly what you're seeing, mate. Yeah, you know what you're seeing. You're seeing the sad decline of a man you once respected.
It's like my mate. His son caught him and his bird in bed, and he collared the mum and dad the next day, the kid, and the mum turned around and said, "Right, what did you think you saw last night in bed?" It's a bit like that one, isn't it? But
Yeah,
I'm hoping he's put it on him, but somehow after the Turkey one, it don't fill me with confidence. I'd be really disappointed if he hadn't. I will. I'd have
yeah.
to pull him about it on here, wouldn't I? But he's got my number now, my new number. Joe G gave me it the other day, so we'll see. I know that I'll have the rap of the Cobra if I tear him apart on here. But Carl, if you haven't put it on Crusher Ben, I'm gonna absolutely roast you because you deserve it. So that's what we do on here. Nobody gets
Mhm.
off. Uh, Dylan White, Terry, he seems to be in the wilderness again. Do you think?
It's interesting how Wardley got the Miller fight and not Dillian.
Yeah.
Like that for me, that let me know what the hierarchy is, right? In terms of handing out these big heavyweight fights. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not a Coley next for Dillian.
He seems to have gone under radar, Lawrence Okolie, two-time world champion, two weights. He never seems to get his flowers, does he? He's knocking guys out and putting them on button moon at heavyweight. But just somehow he's going about his business quietly, and he's not shouting and bawling. And I think he could be. This is going to sound wrong, but I'm going to say he could be the dark horse, couldn't he? Really, in the division.
Well, no. You need to go back in your archives, mate.
What, when I used to hammer him? Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can understand why he was fighting like that at cruiserweight. He's probably struggling to make the weight. He's a huge fella. Have you seen him?
He's huge.
He is massive. His feet are about that big, mate. That big.
Yeah. People talk about Lawrence, right? When I hear people disrespect Lawrence, I'm like, mate, just go and stand in front of him. Yeah. And when he's blocking out the sun, which he does, you'll realize, that might not be the smartest thing to be doing.
He's about 6 foot 6 foot 7, isn't he? I must have that.
He's a legit. You know when someone says they're 6'6", he's a legitimate 6'6",
Like
and
Fury's
he's
not
six.
6'9", because I seen him stood next to Lawrence at same height.
Yeah, and but Lawrence is like 7 foot wide.
Yeah. Oh my! I've never. He is a huge man. You've seen that? I sent you the picture when we were upstairs in Joe G's and
Yeah,
he bowled in there. I thought, oh, here we go. And but he will bang on with me. And do you know what? He is a very big fella, isn't he? He's a big lump of a
he's the kind of guy. Yeah, you wouldn't even bother trying to taser him.
no. He's
There's just no
biggest
point.
heavyweight I've seen. Like, he's bigger than Tyson. He is bigger than Fury, mate. Honestly, Tyson Fury. He is a massive fella.
Yeah,
Honestly.
him and Joshua. Like when you see them, actually, I won't put Wilder in that, but Wilder's not as heavy as those guys. But in terms of like people with big frames, right, just like a big skeleton. Cody probably top of that tree. Then it's Joshua. Then it's Wilder.
Daniel Dubois threatening to deck people on Talksport. Oh my God.
Good.
Uh,
That's what heavyweights should be doing, though.
yeah, that's what we want to see him do, don't we? We
Yeah.
want to see him do the business. It says, let me read it out to you. Daniel Dubois threatens to deck AJ Parker and Usyk in epic call out.
That's what I want. That's what I'm heavyweight. That's exactly what we want. But isn't that what we complain about? That not enough people do that.
Yeah, there's too many Joseph Parkers. Mate, he's knocking guys out now. Only Parker, he didn't use. I wonder if he's
Well,
been on
yeah,
special shakes.
yeah. Interesting how he suddenly found power in his 30s, right?
Very interesting, isn't it? It might come out about
Mm-hmm.
him one day.
Yeah, especially considering his choice of doctor.
Yeah, he's a Dr. Usman as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
Him, Crusher Ben, Tyson Fury. There's a lot of
and
them.
Anthony Fowler.
Anthony Fowler, yeah. Speaking of drug issues, the Dennis McCann situation, that's gone very quiet, do you think?
I think he's probably like going through that appeal process, isn't he?
Well, do
And
you
they've
think
said
they've
that they
learned
said
from
to
the
him,
Crusher Ben situation, Terry?
yeah, there's a mate just disappear till this is sorted.
Mm, yeah, it's an interesting one, that. Jake Paul and Butterbean all over trending at the moment this morning. Have you seen it?
No,
Yeah, it's
that can't happen, surely.
well, it's all over. It's trending today, this morning. Jake Paul and Butter Bean. Butter Bean. Bean.
Butterbean could have been, should have been, never been.
Bean. Could have been, would have been, should have been, never been. Baked bean, creepy bean, beanie, baked bean, butter bean, Uncle Stiltskin. We're on to you. Now he's trending this morning. I remember when Jimmy Lennon Jr. introduced him. Did he fight Larry Holmes?
Who been?
Butterbean, didn't he? He did, didn't
Yeah.
he? I remember. Butter bean. I remember. I'll never forget it. It tickled me. Guy, they were big tits and that, but you know what? He could whack, couldn't he?
Yeah, Jesus Christ, he could whack.
Butterbean. But remember, we could have Butterbean against Huey. What do you think?
Real 50-50.
You think that's a 50-50 Butterbean against Huey? What about when
Oh,
Eddie Hall jumped in ring with Huey at Bolton? And Huey only tickled him. He jumped out at ring within 30 seconds. So,
yeah.
Eddie,
Listen, like I say, Russ, I try and tell people this. Think about this, right? This is what I mean when I say what makes boxers unique. Martin Bakodi was in Congo, right? And he would have been the handiest man wherever he was at that moment. Yeah. He'd have put anyone to sleep. He gets on a plane, flies to Saudi Arabia. Parker puts him to sleep easily. That's the gap. That's the gap. Like a fighter who's had a full camp versus like the gap between that and a civilian, you can't even measure. It's like getting from the earth to the sun. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's ridiculous. And people go, "Oh, yeah, I could do a round with so and so." It's like you couldn't. You wouldn't last a minute and a half. Even if you tried to run, you wouldn't last a minute and a half.
Well, Eddie Hall's a big old lump, and an average man whacking him in belly, you won't be able to do naught with him. You would just give him a jab to round here, and he jumped through the ropes, mate. He absolutely jumped through the ropes. Just,
Yeah.
and he said it wasn't for him, not for him. So he's used to fighting people on his level, isn't he?
Who, Eddie Hall?
They fight that Thor or whatever, some big lump.
What, Eddie Hall?
Eddie Hall. The Stoke kid, is he big, strong? He does deadlifts and all that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He did
And
that.
he's world class at that, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to be world class at two things, as far as I'm concerned. Like, if you're world class at pulling stuff off the floor, brilliant, well done, mate. But these guys are world class at punching people really hard, right? And by the time you fight someone who's a professional boxer, think of all the people who haven't made it to that level. That's a special person up there.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, world's strongest man, and I think he were at the time. He just jumped out at ring rate, so it just shows you that it's not for everybody, is it? This boxing game.
I keep telling people, like, everyone thinks they could jump in a ring and do a little something, right? But
Even me.
on God, yeah, we see when you jump in a ring, especially when someone's better than you, that ring could be 30 foot across. It will feel like a phone booth.
Feel like a what?
Like a phone booth. You're just going to feel like you're drowning. Every second, you're like, I'm just drowning here. Because everything you try, there's a counter move, and you're like, I'm trapped. You start looking at the clock, hoping for the best. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not good.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, is it? And we're all critical about fighters. It takes a special kind of person to go in there and bare your soul in front of hundreds of people or thousands of people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So all them people that have hammered on you, I'm sorry. Oh, fuck. I don't mind. Listen, you've got to respect boxers, but do you know what? When they come out and chat nonsense, it just winds me up. Well, it's like at the moment, I'm not going to mention any names. I think trainers are doing too many interviews at the moment. Certain trainers in boxing, just you can't
Yeah.
get them off internet.
What trainers who once said they wouldn't be doing all these interviews?
Yeah. They're all.
Who were like, you'll never hear me on a podcast. You'll never see me doing all these interviews. I don't want to be
Yeah.
one of those trainers.
And then they
Those
get carried
you mean
away.
those kind of trainers?
Yeah, those kind of trainers that are constantly on podcasts and on YouTube, day in, day out, but the fighters are not fighting, but they're on there. Why are they on there if they're not fighting? If the fighters
Yeah.
have not got any fights lined up?
Maybe because people are too scared of their reputation to say no.
Yeah, that's probably it, mate. And I think that, do you know what? I think some people just like to hear their own voice, and they don't understand when they're chatting nonsense and constantly day in, day out. Every now and then they come out with a fantasy island story, and do you know what? It drives me insane. It drives me pet hate at the moment. It's a bit like the Mickey Fio and the Joe Egan thing. Mickey put a post out on Instagram 6 weeks ago saying it's a done deal and they're going to fight. And I got hammered for saying, what happened? Who's going to put money up? Which TV people are going to put money up to watch two men 60 plus year old? Ain't going to happen. No TV are interested, but certain people tell massive lies and convince people that they are going to fight, and it's just hype. It isn't going to happen ever,
Do you know
ever.
what happens to us?
Right.
You build this sort of fake hype up, right?
Mm.
And then you run off and get some sponsors.
Yeah,
That's all that's happening here.
I've
So,
seen
yeah,
it. I've seen it. I know. I know somebody who put a lot of money up for Mick to fight John Fury. They're giving thousands in expenses for training and stuff. And thought it was Tony out of Rocky when he gave Rocky some training expenses. Well, this particular guy gave Mick quite a bit of money actually for training expenses and that. And the
did he
fact
ever get it back?
I don't know. I very much doubt it, but it never happened. The fight. They put a date out, didn't they? Spencer Brown put a date out, May 28th, for it 21. It was going to happen. Well,
Yeah.
that's 4 years ago. And Mick still hasn't had a fight since. Says he's not had a fight. All he's done for 4 years is talk about fighting John Fury. Joe Egan.
Here's what happens. See those old guys? They think they still got it, right? Because 80% of the time they just live in their own little fantasy world. When you're surrounded by mates and backslappers. Then they jump in a ring and they jump in with some random 18-year-old kid. They take a jab and then they realize they don't have the legs they used to have. Right. And remember when Nigel Benn was going to have
Nigel
his
Ben,
comeback?
Craig Richards, you're going to tell me. I was about to say.
Yeah. Well, so what happened initially was they put Nigel in with some novices and Nigel was holding his own, right?
Yeah.
And so Nigel's like, yeah, the comeback's on. Now, Sakio Bika's not the same age as Nigel. Sakio Bika he's still serviceable as a guy that can have a row. And so they were
He's an
like,
hard night's working, Sakio Bika.
yeah, hard as nails. And so you start ramping up the level of sparring. And like Nigel kept getting confidence. And in the end, they were just like, look, just put him in with Spider. And I think Spider hit him with a jab and Nigel's legs went. And Nigel was like, maybe not.
Did
But
Kawasaki fight Sakio Bika? He did, didn't he?
yeah,
That was an hard night for Kawasaki, that.
I think Bika's it's hard night for everybody. Didn't Ward fight him
Ward
as
had
well?
a hard time as well, didn't he? Ward
Yeah.
eventually overcame him, didn't he? But he's an hard night's work, Beaker. He'd have bashed Nigel Benn up, but I think the powers that be was that scared to tell Nigel Benn no. They just thought, why are we going to work this? Well, let's upgrade his sparring. And then Nigel will maybe think, you know what, this isn't for me. And they put him in with Craig Richards, and Craig Richards just played with him, didn't
Yeah. But respectfully though, it wasn't like he was trying to take the piss. It was just respectfully just say, look, rather you didn't do this, mate.
he? And Nigel's son quit, didn't he? Well, not quit. His son realised that, I'm an old guy here.
Yeah.
It's
And it happens to everybody. Yeah. You can't do what you thought you could do. You know what I mean? You just can't.
well, he couldn't do out in 1996 against Steve Collins. So what's he going to do 25, 30 years later?
No, exactly.
But we also saw Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, didn't we?
And Jake was carrying him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Tyson Fury's been seen at gym, doing a bit of bag work and stuff. And it says on social media, and I quote, on Talksport, sorry, on their website, Fury puts his fans into a frenzy because he's turned up at gym. I don't know what fans went into a frenzy.
Fury power. You know what they're
You know
like.
about the Stig. Did Stig go into a frenzy?
The legendary Stig.
No.
Since Fury lost twice, he hasn't been seen or heard of, has he?
Stig, how come you don't text me now since Usyk done your guy twice? No, he does text me, Stig. He's all right. No, it's Spencer Brown saying that Tyson's bored and all this blah blah blah. But Jonathan's email being said, Russ, is it true that Tyson Fury retires after every fight just so he can go out and party? And if the testers get a grip of him, he can say, "F off, I'm retired." Do you think that's
Well,
why he
no,
retires
not
every fight?
unless, not if he's still holding a license somewhere.
Right. Well, he's not got a British license though, has he? I had one for a bit, has he? A British one.
But then he can just do what he wants, really,
Mm.
because no one's going to fly over from wherever his license is from to test him.
Who's going to take him on now with all them millions in bank? He could do what he wants, couldn't he, really, now, Tyson?
Yeah,
Legally, if he wanted to, he could just drown you out with barristers, couldn't he, all day?
100%.
Do you think he is retired, Terry, or do you think he'll come back?
I don't know. With him, you just never know.
Yeah.
But he's smart enough, isn't he, to know that if he doesn't fight this year, he'll probably never fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. What about Eddie Hearn? He's retiring. Oh, sorry, before we go on to Eddie, Sullivan's come out with WBC and they're looking at Fury against Caballero for WBC interim. I don't see Fury risking himself against Caballero, do you?
I don't see Fury fighting for an interim title.
No, I don't. I don't think that'd be beneath him, wouldn't it, really? Because his ego's
Yeah.
that big. Okay. Eddie Hearn's retirement. You've been talking retirement for last 6 weeks. We haven't heard anything for 2 weeks now since the retirement talk. Do you think he's got back on the saddle and adjusted and he's going again, going to come back stronger?
I don't. I think he's probably put his feelers out, and it's probably nothing else he could do. So he's probably just going to be like, I may as well ride this boxing thing for as long as I can.
Hmm. It's an interesting one, that, isn't it, for Eddie? Do you see Matchroom being a force again, Terry?
Yeah, and the reason I say that is eventually Queensbury will become too big for them to manage all their stars, and then some of those stars will go to Matchroom, and then Hearn will be back again. That's the cycle, isn't it?
Well, it's been
Matchroom got
going
too
and
big at
throwing on
one
it
point.
for 2 years now, on it, this cycle with them two.
Say that again.
With the Hearns and the Warrens for about 30, 40 years, it's been back and forth, hasn't it?
Yeah, it'll continue.
Do you remember when they had Eubank Senior and he got done by, well, Eubank Senior's only defeats were on Bricktop shows, weren't they? But he was protected at Matchroom. When he went, they more or less bailed out. They were only left with that Ontario and Tony Dodson, weren't they? I think they hardly did anything. Do you remember?
Yeah.
They hardly did anything, did they? And obviously they got lucky with signing Anthony Joshua. Uh, obviously, Eddie got. Who did Eddie get to start with? I think he got Audley Harrison, didn't he?
Yeah.
Kelbrook, Bellew, Barker, Froch, Cleverly. They all start. Oh,
Ricky Burns.
Ricky Burns, but none of them were from debut, were they? You never had any of them from debut. Do you remember?
Yeah. But he was smart. Like he came at the right time.
He got it at the right time. He nicked a few off Hennessy, a few off Bricktop. I remember Bricktop doing an interview, and he were absolutely spitting mad because everybody were just crossing the street, weren't they? But now the boot's on the other foot. We're going to see what Eddie's about, really, aren't we? Has he got that bit between his teeth? You think?
Well, we'll find out. I don't know. Because like it's not like there are loads of talented kids out there that you can get excited about. So I think that's the hard bit. And so if I was Hearn, my focus now would be finding the next superstar. Not some ex-boxer's kid, like a superstar, a kid who's out there boxing right now who can take heads off.
Mm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But they've got Bivol, haven't they? Right. But
Yeah.
who have they got from UK now, though, after Crusher Ben and Joshua?
No one really. Dalton Smith potentially, but he's
Nobody
still
know him if he walks down Meadowhall. If he walked around Meadowhall now, he'd be lucky if 5 people come up to him, Dalton Smith, wouldn't he?
yeah, that's the problem.
That's the
And
problem he's got.
man, you know me, I've been beating this horse for ages. If I was Hearn, I'd take some of what I do and I'd just whack it on ITV. Like I'd just say to ITV, we don't want you to just don't put any money into it. Just broadcast it on ITV too. And I just have people with access to the next generation of superstars. That's what I would do. Because otherwise, you're never going to build these stars. If we don't get to see them regularly, you're not going to build these stars up.
Mm. Yeah. The Gad. He's been a bit quiet lately, hasn't he, the Gad?
You should be celebrating.
I know, yeah. A lot of people keep saying that he's on his way out at Talksport. What do you think, Terry?
And I don't know because I don't know who the replacement would be. Like you need someone like a Gareth A. Davis because
I think even though he gave him some stick, I think he does know his boxing. It's just that his bias lets him down, doesn't it, a little bit?
but I
Although
think
he
that's
has
what people
toned it
want
down
though.
lately, hasn't he? He has toned it down a bit lately, but I think his bias is out of control sometimes. It is, though, isn't it? But God, women love him, men want to be him. You know, when I get over him, Terry,
Choke him out.
I'm going to pluck his hair out like a Buxton chicken, leave him running around like a doll's head. If I ever see him. Not that I will see him. He lives on Eddie Hills' street and Crusher Ben. They all live really close to each other. Isn't that mad, that? In Stock, Ingatstone, Essex, eh? Crazy, that. Eh? Imagine them all in local pub, all howling. Eh? Can you imagine the Gad saying, Eddie, I've paid you one on, a pint. Eddie, there's one behind bar for you, Eddie. Don't worry about it. Took care of it. Hey? Unbelievable. Do you want to go on to part three, Terry?
Yep.
Right, we'll see you on part three where we might have to get him close. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. And let me know what you think about the video. All right, if you want to come on and do a Zoom with me, it's pretty simple. It's porkycorner@mail.com. That's in the bottom corner. And just send me your phone number. I'll give you a ring next week on WhatsApp video. And we'll arrange to see what you're about. Because there's too many. I have plenty opinions on here in comment section and emails. Get too personal. So come on Zoom. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. But the amount of links that I send out for people to come on here, and they actually don't click on the link when it comes down to it, it's probably stage fright. Don't be frightened. We don't bite. Okie doke. See you on part three.